don't you actually make your statement right now? Veterans, January 6th political prisoners, veterans, including but not limited to Joe Biggs, are still being mistreated by the Justice Department. They need their full decorated veteran status returned. Joe Biggs, tell us what the situation is.
Well, Mr. President, my name is Joe Biggs. I am a retired U.S. Army Staff Sergeant. I served with the 1st Armored Division and the 82nd Airborne. I spent 2 years in Iraq and 2 years in Afghanistan. I killed ISIS and Taliban. I did it with a grin on my face, and I do it again tomorrow. I came back home, and I was medically retired from injuries sustained in combat, where I received multiple Purple Hearts. And then I go and stand up for a stolen election, and I am thrown in prison and locked in solitary confinement, only to be told that I would, be getting out and be getting a pardon and having my military rights restored, but I have not. So, Mr. President, I need you to look into my case, Joe Biggs and Zachary Real and Dominic Pizzola and Stuart Rhodes and the other veterans who did not get pardons but only got their sentence commuted, and help us get our lives back, because I need access to the VA. I need access to my retirement. I need access to all those things that I fought honorably for and came back home, and I served with distinction and honor, and it's just my right. I don't understand how something can be taken away from me for something that has nothing to do with my military service. And then on top of that, try to go to the VA when I'm at a low point in my life after getting out of prison and being rejected and turned away by the VA here in Daytona Beach, Florida. So, I'm not too good to say, hey, I need help. I'm reaching out, asking for that help. And I know that these other veterans are struggling as well. It's not easy spending time in combat and then coming back home and then getting thrown in prison and left in solitary confinement, where you don't know if the world even knows who you are or where you are or what's going on. So, I'm not asking for millions of dollars. I'm just asking for what's mine, what I fought for, what I served for, and that is it.
How many Purple Hearts do you have, Joe?
A couple.
Are there any other things you're being denied, any other access that's being denied to you or benefits that's being denied to you?
Well, I mean, I have nothing. It's like my entire military career has been wiped from the system completely. It's as if I did nothing, and I served overseas in combat for absolutely nothing, and that's what really breaks my heart the most. It's not the time in prison, whatever. I did that, and I didn't break. I didn't rattle nobody. I'm no chump. But I do believe that this is my right. These are things that I have earned. And I believe that Zachary Real has earned those things. And I believe that Dominic Pizzola has earned those things as well, to be able to have those rights. And it's to me, it's a damn shame that we have to sit here and suffer. Everyone else is getting their life back. Everyone else is getting back to the grind, back to, living a normal everyday life. And we're still sitting here like we were forgotten. I still feel like a POW.
Do you know, I mean, aside from obviously President Trump, do you know which individual has their hands on the levers? I know you mentioned somebody earlier that is no longer in that position. Is there any individual that you know of that actually has their hands on the levers, their fingers on the button, that can right this wrong?
I mean, the law simply states anyone who is charged with sedition or seditious conspiracy has to have a presidential pardon to have their rights restored. Now, that's step one. We need a pardon. With the pardon, then we can go through another avenue through Ed Martin in D.C. and then have our charges completely wiped. And then it's like I have no record whatsoever. And then I can actually start raining down hell with these legal lawsuits against people who have been throwing lawsuits at us while we were in prison with no way to defend ourselves. When I went to the VA the other week, I was told that while I was in prison and kept in solitary confinement, that they court-martialed me for subversive acts against the United States. And I wasn't even given the ability to represent myself, to defend myself, or anything against those charges.